Hello. Okay, good. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. All right, let me just check this audio. I'm trying out Crisp. I think maybe probably Crisp is gonna be a good idea because I'm eating spits. My audio is terrible. I got a thing right next to me. Okay, good. So it looks like the Crisp is the way to go. The other thing that's nice with Crisp is that well, it kind of gives us a timer. So we got 26 minutes left on our free daily minutes. Huh. Good. So let's get started. I want to share my screen. Now, why is the name of today's video report? It's because this little thing, this little meeting that I had just now with you guys earlier this morning, we were able to solve this. I don't remember the last thing that you saw. I think it was probably this. So what happened was I started. So thank you for deleting output and relaying cursors, internal comments. Good. Okay, excellent. All 5 tests we passed with all 44 passing. So we've established a gold standard for task F1.2 in cursor. And then from here, they want to put, here's the gold standard code. Here's the actual gold standard code. So we got to go earlier than that. Remember when I tried to upload a document? Maybe you weren't here. So at some point, I had to upload a document. I tried to provide the code for um, from cursor. Yeah, here it is. So I tried to edit it in like a text thing, but it wouldn't upload. And so I had to put it into a Google Doc. And then after it, I don't know, it's having a problem with Google Docs these days. So at the end of it, it's like, well, I can't really, it says, however, I'm unable to access external links, including Google Docs. What? Excuse me? I cannot view the content of this. So just copy and paste it. So I said, okay, fine. But this was the problem we had before. It was like I was trying to copy and paste this into our little thing, and it wasn't copying and pasting. It was having it was having an error. I thought maybe it's because the text was too long. Then liaison goes crazy. It appears the content you provided in the previous turn by cursor was not the gold standard version I provided, specifically missing critical fix for the Prisma client knowledge request error instantiation and the update mock IDs. This is why the tests are failing. The output you've provided confirms these issues. It goes crazy. This is critical communication breakdown. The correct gold standard code that I provided in my previous turn was not applied to your local file. This is the source of all the current failures. Project manager, we must ensure that the file in their local environment matches the gold standard content I provided. This is the absolute prerequisite to get task at 1.52 passings. So, okay, fine. So I just copied and pasted it back into the. But I did this earlier, so I mean, whatever. It's like it doesn't remember that it gave us code earlier and it had problems. So what's more important is that now let's look at the test output you provided for the execution of this code. It's kind of ridiculous because we're not going to look at the fails now because we're just going to upload the new code and then we don't have to worry about it. So I upload the new code and says, oh, there you go. It appears we've encountered the something script error. First, you need to go here. Then you got to clear the cache. And then we do it again. And it says, okay, the confirms the jet cache was successfully cleared. However, it did not proceed the run test after clearing the cache. It tells me to do this. Thank you for detailed output management. You're correct. First, let's clear the jet cache. It's just like a million steps. And then it just all the tests passed. Now, because of the issue, because now it's going to want to do the same things into Windsurf and what's the other one? Replit. So we got the code here. It's asking, put the gold standard, cut it and paste it and put it into our environments. Okay, we can try that. But before we do that, I think that we had enough problems with this little process, this little experience. Like it took long enough. Like, why is it taking so long to do this stuff? Why are we hitting these problems? The more important question is, how do we avoid having these problems in the future? All right, so I said, please make a report for the steps that we took in F1.2 for architect. Specifically note the process for debugging and fixing the code as well as issues that we faced. Consider what we might have done differently so as to be able to not have the same issues in the other IDEs, and also to help us to solve persistent issues in the future. If there are significant lessons learned, consider recommendations for document revision. If you have specific document revisions, put the exact wording into your report, and I will continue with the steps. From your previous output. It says, all right, so here's my report. Got the task objective, we got the implementation and debugging process, we got the initial skeleton one, and the issue that we faced. Then we got issue number 2. Then we got round number 2, round number 3, persistence of old code. Then we got the test failures. Then we got the debugging. We got the final verification, where it could have been done differently. Proactive directory creation. Liaison should have explicitly instructed the project manager to manually create this directory before attempting this, and given private knowledge of this causing issues. Now, I would say in general, I don't have a problem with that now because, well, I got a lot of lessons. Apparently, I got too many lessons. Despite the numerous challenges, it's now fully operational. This report concludes my summary for architect. All right, so what do? We take this report, copy it, then we jump over to architect. Now, remember architect, we were talking about, I had a comment from somebody. We have any comments yet today? We had a comment in our chat last time. The guy from India, he's like, dude, it's really competitive around here. How do I succeed? And I was like, let me use my tools, because I got these tools, these thinking tools, and I got AI. So let's combine my tools and AI and your question and your comments. Bada bing, bada boom. So number 1, it says master core skills. Get really strong at data structures and algorithms. Pick a key programming language and truly learn it, and make problem solving a regular practice. So the idea is specialization. Even though maybe AI can look, it's like basically I have zero coding skills, but I'm using AI to help me to make my application. I have an AI first mentality. I think it could be difficult to have an AI first mentality if you already have coding skills. But I think also in India that it's so competitive that you can't just have AI coding skills. You also have to have the actual knowledge base. So it says focus on one. So it's the first one is like specialization. You need to specialize in data structures and algorithms. You need to figure out which coding language is like the most important for data structures and algorithms. Then and then become very deep. Learn everything you can about that one language and find ways to have problem solving practice. So, okay, so I have a like another channel. I have another YouTube channel, and I'm learning French. And I've been doing a challenge now for like 85 days. We got 5 more days of the challenge. Even though I did it yesterday, I didn't make a video. So maybe I kind of, I'm just like so tired of this challenge. But also, like, I'm working so much now that by the time it's like nighttime, I'm tired and it's just like I just don't have the energy to do it. So, but then, okay, so how do we resolve that issue? I don't really care to resolve it right now. So I'm just allowing the clock to run out on this 90-day challenge. And then, but the point is that when I study French, the idea is we need to do problem solving practice because that's how you get better at a language is you have some exercises and then the exercises are just basically problem solving. You have to use your grammar, you have to use your vocabulary, and you have to use it in a very specific context. Through the process of doing exercises, then you're able to be more fluent in the language. And it's the same thing with coding languages. So in the next challenge for my French language, I'm going to start to figure out how to kind of have a better process and maybe create like a new blog or a new website for helping people to learn French. And I'm gonna just like have an AI first mentality and then build exercises. So maybe I'll use some references, look at some other people's work, and then find use AI and then find a way to create something new. And hopefully it'll so the how do I pass is because like if I'm willing to use this new system for learning French, and if I actually am able to learn French, that means that they're good exercises. Or at least if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for some percentage of the population. So then the question is, okay, so how can you use AI to help you to create problem solving practice? I think there's probably already a lot of websites that can help you to do problem solving. But if you're not satisfied with any of them, as I am not satisfied with that what's available in French, then you're gonna have to start to make your own. Um, Build a standout portfolio. So you just got to start working on projects, gain practical experience. So it means you got to get a job, you got to get an internship, you got to work on somebody's project. Communication. So you got to prepare those questions. Strategic job preparation. Learn the specific tech skills that are in demand for the jobs you're targeting. Make your resume on LinkedIn look professional. Network actively, connect with people in the industry. Prepare thoroughly for all parts of the interview process. Boost your productivity. I mean, it's like if you're going to be a professional, then you just be a professional first, and then it doesn't really matter where you start. You can start anywhere. I mean, a lot of people they want to start like in the best, biggest, awesomest, and it's like it's not necessarily a good idea. You know, there's this thing in America. It's called I don't even know. I can't remember what it's called. It's called anyways. It's something like when people come from a minorities background, then the university lowers their admissions requirements for those people. But it's not actually helpful for those people because what they're doing is then they have to compete against people that have higher IQs. And these same people that just because they're I'm not saying that it saying it doesn't matter whether whether you're minority or not. What matters is your confidence level. And so if you're having to compete against all these people who are way, way better than you, and you got in just because of the color of your skin, and you're in a bad position for trying to compete with the environment. And then it makes you look bad, and then eventually you don't get a good career. I mean, I just I listened to Thomas Sowell and his explanation of this affirmative action stuff, and it makes sense. Like if you want someone to really succeed, they have to compete with the people at their level. And so you got to figure out what your level is, and then you get to figure out how you need to live that life based on where you are. This is my level right here. Okay, liaison. Thank you for this exceptionally thorough and well-structured report on implementation of debugging. want to change the team operations manual. Doing what? So I just want to update my documentation. And this is the point. Whenever you feel like something's happened, something difficult, you overcame some difficulty, you created some new method for doing the work, you have a new workflow, a new work process. It just seems like, or you even overcame some kind of big issue. Given the immediate relevance, I'll listen to this.
Project Manager, given the immediate relevance and benefit of these approved revisions for our ongoing work in Sprint 4, I believe it would be advantageous to integrate them into the Team Operations Manual promptly. Therefore, I would like to request the following. 1. Could you please proceed with updating the Master Team Operations Manual document by incorporating the 4 specific revisions that Liaison AI 3.3 detailed in the Report on Task F1.2, using the exact wording provided? 2. Once these changes have been applied, please provide the full and complete text of the newly updated Team Operations Manual. We can then confirm its new version, e.g., version 1.6.1 or perhaps version 1.7 if the changes are deemed significant enough. Having this updated version will ensure that both myself and Liaison AI 3.3 are operating with the absolute latest operational procedures.
I'm just going to use those 2 sentences. I like that. So we'll just do that. Proceed with the updated Master Team Operations Manual document by incorporating the 4 specific revisions. Okay, I'll update it. Given to significance, we're going to call it 1.7. Here is the full and complete document. Now, I'm just kind of curious about like part 2. Can you also revise the document so that in the future, whenever I request the updated full version, you will use a markdown format that I can copy with 1 click, and also all prompts to IDEs should also be structured that way. Update the text and also provide the updated text that you, you just gave me in Markdown. So I don't, I don't like it when it's doing the same thing over and over again, and when it continually makes these kinds of mistakes. At some point we got to read this. Anyways, let's just read the headings. Whenever I'm working with people and call this dog fooding, VOTSBC. I have no idea where this is coming from. Foundational practice. Iteration development and learning. AI collaboration model and roles. Find roles in AI ID interaction. Standard interaction flow and key workflows. General interactive flow. Working with multiple IDEs. Lead AI gold standard workflow. Structuring collaboration for optimal results. Liaison AI output and prompt formatting. AI instance lifestyle, context window management. Preparing for your successor. Sprint derived from sprint process definition. MVP roadmap version 1. Could you delete, could you remove reference to versions? Because I change versions so often that I don't want anyone to be confused. Just use the main name of the document. Also, I saw you do not currently have access to this doc. I can upload it, but referring to this doc without having access to it is not useful. Please find any and all documents referred to in the documentation which are not part of the current set of docs. I will upload them for you. After uploading, you can take the crucial data from those docs and add it directly to the foundational 5 documents. We should be certain that all documents referenced in the documentation correctly point to the specific data associated with those documents. And if the documents aren't available, I can find them for you, and then the internal documentation will be sound. Could you create a plan for how to proceed and decide if you want architects' input on the plan or procedural elements? Okay, so come on. The thing is that all right, so I jumped up to liaison and architect. This is why I have architect and liaison as two separate windows. They both have the same documentation, and generally they have the same experience, although liaison is working directly with the IDEs, so it has slightly more information than the other guy. Because I put in the same thing. Seems in my previous request to a project regarding this. All right, now we can go back. So we'll just use architect to do it because we don't actually need liaison to do it. Is this a doc? Yeah. All right, I just grabbed the doc from, okay. Liaison provided me with the following document, but I see some internal inconsistencies. And I started to think that it's affecting our work since it doesn't, it may be referencing documents which it doesn't have access to. So I think we should edit our docs and see if I have access to those docs. And then we can update our docs with the actual data rather than referencing data that we don't have access to. All right. There, and here's the whole doc. And it worked. Good. Well, maybe it worked. There you go. So, I mean, worst case scenario, when I'm working with Google Gemini, is that I always have a backup so that on one, if it's not working on one screen, I can do it on the other screen. All right, let's take a listen. Also, I need to check my audio because the crisp just stopped working.
Okay, project manager, I understand. You've received this team operations manual, version 1.7.1, from the Liaison AI, and you've rightly pointed out that to make our core documentation truly robust and self-contained, we need to address how it references and derives content from other historical documents. This aligns perfectly with the document consolidation plan we discussed. Thank you for providing this updated team operations manual, version 1.7.1, updated as of the 28th of May 2025. I have processed it and can confirm that it incorporates the 4 revisions I recently approved based on the report on task F1.2. This is excellent progress. Let's begin phase 1, identification of reference source documents, of our consolidation plan, focusing on this team operations manual you've provided. 1. Reference source documents in Team Operations Manual version 1.7.1. Based on my scan of this document, the following source documents are mentioned as contributing to its content. Link to I_collaboration_roles_responsibilities.md version 2.7, referenced in Part 1, AI, Collaboration Model and Roles. Link to working_context_process.md, historical, referenced in Part 1, AI, Collaboration Model and Roles. Sprint_process_definition and MVP link to roadmap.md version 1.
I'm not going to listen to this thing all day. As you suspected, there's some minor internal inconsistencies. I noticed the sections numbering issues, part 4. There's 2 sections labeled 4.1. The second instance of 4.1 likely should be 4.2. Next step, according to our plan, your action, please proceed with phase 2. And just familiar myself with their content. Proceed phase 3, data integration and core document refinement. Propose integrations. Review them. All right, fine. So this is what we're doing. All right. AI role responsibilities. So now if we go into my Google Docs, we have 2. One's called Arrowhead Calibration. This is where we're saving our docs all the time. And we have this other section called historical documentation. So we got docs from like new calibration architect, new calibration liaison, we got calibration. So these are the first set of calibration. Then we had a new set of calibration. Then we have calibration from sprints. We got calibration all over the place. So probably the best way to do it is see if we can just search for it. So if we put it in like this, right, that looks like this, definitely looks like this document. Now this says version 2.7. Now, I don't want to get in big trouble from architect. So, it is exactly version 2.7. While it's digesting that, I'm going to check this one. Working process. Right, let's jump. Maybe we'll just add it. Well, no. All right, let's let her do her thing. Now let's come back over here. This is the next one. Working context and process. Looks like this one. Probably this one. It's very likely it's this one. If it's not, fine. You know, it's probably close enough. Now, while it's doing its thinking, I'm going to just pop in that one. Yeah, here, this file, working content process MD. Exactly the file we were looking for. Look at that. And the next one is this one. Sprint process definition roadmap. Copy, copy. And then we got these two. Okay, I know these ones. This is liaison AI and then architect AI. Version 2.2 and version 2.1. So I would assume that those documents are probably in here in calibration. And it's this one. It's liaison and architect lessons learned. I'm pretty sure it's these ones. Didn't they say lessons learned? And then it said it's version 2.1. Yeah, this one's version 2.1. That's correct. For architect. And this one is version 2.2. Exactly. Okay, good. Wow. So it seems like it's like you have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I wish there was a slightly better way to do this, but it's weird, you know. This one's liaison AI, and then I also need architect. Yeah, I know. It like references all kinds of documents. Now, this is where I'm curious because it says after I get all these documents, then I'm going to propose some potential changes. Which means that once we have all these documents updated, it depends. Maybe it's going to give us just one new version of. Mm-hmm. 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 That's not what I want to do. Based on the idea that we want to revise the current version of that by removing the references to documents it doesn't have access to and replacing it with the data found in the documents I've provided for you, and given that you have access to the foundational 5 docs, can we focus on first revising the I wonder if something tells me. When the copy and pasting is an issue, I would just always just assumed it was probably the Gemini, but I think it could be my internet connection. All right, maybe we'll be faster now. All right, let's do this. Let's do this read. Okay. You'd like us to prioritize revising our team operations manual, first using the 4 historical source documents you've already provided to integrate their crucial data and remove direct references to them where possible. That's a good focused approach. We can certainly proceed with that. The source documents I have that are relevant to this are 1, 2, 3, 4. Based on these, here's how I propose to revise the team operations manual. I'll focus on integrating key information and refining existing sections. Proposed revisions. Okay, foundational principles, relevant source. Our core principles using the application modules, current TOM section using our own methodology. Provides very clear prescriptive language about AI team's proactive role in suggesting the facilitation of these modules throughout the project lifecycle. I will draft an enhanced version of TOM section 0.1 to more explicitly detail these proactive responsibilities for the architect. For example, incorporating guidance like the liaison AI should proactively suggest the brainstorm module when project direction is uncertain, guide the definition of asking using objective module prompts, assist in translating objective outputs into the scoreboard, and consistently using touch-based framework for progress tracking. Proposed integration, clarify user support needs. I will add a statement reflecting the understanding. It is understood that the project manager may require proactive, detailed step-by-step guidance for executing tasks, and the AI will strive to provide this comprehensive support. Explicitly list liaison can adopt other personas to make more self-contained. I will replace the reference by explicitly listing the persona can adopt their personas such as business analyst, scrum master, assistant, develop, assistant, co-project manager, guidance as needed for specific contextual tasks. Good. I'll carefully compare. I will review this document particularly in here. Actual MVP roadmap. The actual MVP roadmap detailed specific sprint process definitions will require document for proper integration. Please provide the sprint process definition roadmap document when you're able. Okay, so this is the first time it actually requested that specific document. And I definitely have that document. I have 2 different ones. No, I have it. All right, I got it here. And then relevant source. Okay. Correct section numbering. Richard details. I will now begin drafting the specific text change. I'll provide these. Please continue to provide remaining documents. Okay, so it's just asking me to provide this document. Yeah, see, I changed my internet. And now the copies and paste is way faster. Hello, Mr. Gordon. Hi, buddy, bud. Gordon wants me to pay attention to him all day long. Man, today he's got his new friend outside, and they've been spending a lot more time together, and they've been running around the river, and they're learning how to wrestle. Gordon's a good teacher, teaching his new friend how to wrestle, and they're having lots of fun doing it. No changes needed, obviously. Generalized sprint process. Crucial, we need to integrate wild overview sprint. We can enhance them by ensuring they fully incorporate the detailed procedural descriptions explicitly integrations. For example, planning AI. AI. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Can you do the work we would like to perform without the additional docs? Those docs were used to create the current set of foundational 5, and they are not necessarily better than our current docs, but if they are absolutely necessary and you can achieve our stated goal only with access to those docs, I can provide them. Would you like to produce these documents now, or can you create a better version of those 5 documents with the updates and present each with only reference to each other and removal of reference to versions? To reference to versions, since version numbers might be confusing. Version numbers. All right, we're going to test this out. What happened? It died. Gemini died. She's trying to slow down. Like the thing is, if it's going to slow down, then it means we're hitting the limits to its context. If we're hitting the limits to its context, it might produce errors. Yeah. Yeah. I believe a holistic approach to revising all 5 documents will be more effective than revising one by one with only a partial set of original source material. To enable this, I recommend you first provide all the remaining historical source documents. Dev strategy plan. I don't know what a plan is. I don't even know which one this is. All right, let's remove that one. Project overview. All right, we got that one. Now maybe I can just do it all in one. We got the project overview. What's next? Got the module specs. Definitely got that document. We got the app structure and workflow. Yep. App structure workflow, we got the tech stack decisions. We got the simplified brand guidelines. I think that's everything. All right, now it's going to do what? Now it's going to, once I've received all these source documents, I will ingest and analyze all sources. I will develop comprehensive revision proposal. I will present for your review why this approach is better for your stated goal. Therefore, I will wait to produce the full set of revisions. Please let me know of the additional source documents when you're ready. Remember Star Trek? Remember that dude named Data? This is Data. You talk to Data. Data has access to all the information. And depending on, see, the thing is about Data is that it was already calibrated to understand intent. What the dickens? Okay, team operations manual. As discussed previously, I'll focus on integrating crucial data from ding, 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 ding. This will include making these parts self-contained by incorporating the essential information from their source, removing derived from notes, connecting the part 4 section numbering, project blueprint. I'll leave information from here and here. Deliberate practice concept. I'll use the provided sure information is fully integrated. It's currently a placeholder. You see, this section is currently a placeholder awaiting content from simplified from this document. The document you uploaded with a similar name was an older version. Therefore, the project blueprint says will remain a placeholder until the actual. Waiting and waiting and waiting. So this was actually a little, this was our little task last week, early last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe early last week. It was to reduce the documentation down to 5 documents. I think I gave you the simplified brand guidelines. Oh. So there's an older version. Now, this is from Note. I have it saved in Notebook LM. Inside marketing design. We created some. We created something. And then we saved it somewhere. Why don't we read our simplified brand guidelines? Oh, I see. Structure, calibration. Oh, wow. Okay. Actually, it's not what I thought it was. It's this. Wow, that's wild. So basically, if you don't read the documents, at some point, you don't know what the documents say. All right, we're not going to listen to any more audio, so I'm just going to share my whole window. Let's stop this and then share the window. I think it's this one. There, now you can see how many things I opened. For all future documents I provide, starting with project blueprint, when you're ready for it, I will enclose it. Okay. What the heck? It's just lost it. All right, now since there's been so much revision with all of our documents, I'm probably going to have to create another. Okay, so here's the new version of the team operations manual. Doc footing, iterative development and learning, definition, roles, AI. Yeah. Architect liaison. General interaction flow. Working with multiple IDEs. Milestone parity, gold standard. Lead AI, gold standard workflow. Context window workflow. Self-alert. Project core MVP development. The other projects. The project core MVP development. And other projects using this framework are executed using a series of sprints, typically. Okay. Okay, here's sprint 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Project blueprint, part 3. What's this? Our AI, architects AI best practices. All right. Well, the issue is like, okay. I worked with architect to update the doc. We looked at previous docs and we tried to make sure the foundational docs only reference to docs we currently have access to, and also remove version numbers. It asked to look at all the previous documentation we used to use. This is the updated version. You think it removed anything which was necessary and incorporated the changes you requested? Yeah, and then something went wrong. I don't know, things just starting to get annoying. It's like the most powerful AI in the world, and I'm complaining. That's all you're ever going to get is people complaining. That's just the way life is. No matter how good you make it, if there's a problem, people will complain immediately. All right, so it doesn't want to do it. It's not a happy camper. I just opened up like a whole nother window. Well, the other way to do it is I could just copy and paste the current liaison version. All right, so we'll just keep on going because I don't know what else to do. So this is our what? This is going to be our very long blueprint. All right, so this is project blueprint. All right, so we're going to go back into Project Arrowhead. That looked like, what did it say? Why are you sharing this one? Okay, anyways. Okay, so what's this one called? Project Blueprint. Manage Guidance Application. Project Blueprint. Management guidance. I don't have a project blueprint. It's the first document. Okay. So what do you think it's going to say? First of all, this is a document. It's 12 pages. It says version 1.3. I'm going to paste the new one. It's now still 13 pages. 13 pages, and it is. Okay, nobody cares that the draft revision incorporating source document data from today. I removed the version numbers. Version 2.0. All right. So now we're in 2.2.0. Okay, we got a new blueprint. Now, regarding your question, did you miss anything? My intention when I created this was that to do this, and then this, and then do this, and this, and this, and then and this. Could you point out specific section information you feel might have been overlooked? Okay, so it said F off. All right, I got to pick up that copy. Here's the operational manual. Oh, I guess you didn't see that. All right, so our operational manual is version 1.6. It's got, what is it, 18 pages? And it is now 15 pages. All right, I got a meeting in 5 minutes. All right. Can I finish updating all my docs? Maybe. Okay, we got the key decisions doc. It's completely messed up. So I feel like, what did I learn from this process? The thing I learned from this process is that if you don't understand what's in your docs, okay, nothing changed in that doc. If you don't know the actual content in those documents, then you're relying on AI first. Might be a problem. Bye-bye.